All right, welcome back to the pod. Before we get started, if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, please follow the show, rate it, and if you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. Got a lot of stuff lined up this episode. We're talking recaps, conference final predictions, NBA conspiracies as well. That's always a fun one. A few discussions as well, and last but not least, we are introducing a new segment called "I Have a Dilemma," and boy, do I have a dilemma. So we'll talk about that at the end. Stay tuned to hear about that one, like I said. And best of all, to help me do it all, none other than Tristen Garrison. He is here. Tristan, how you doing, sir?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good, and I'm excited to talk some hoops with you. We sure have had an eventful week.
Yes, sir. Just got off fresh. Detroit, Cleveland, Game 7. Man, they got the belt. Can't wait to
They
talk
got
about
the
it.
belt. Yeah, we'll get into it here right now. They got the belt, that's for sure. Um, Literally my first thing that I have. I just did not expect that at all. I thought the Pistons were going to win. I really thought the Pistons were going to win by like maybe 10 points. I didn't really think it was going to be like a super close game. But about 8 minutes in, you could just feel like, hey, Cleveland's got something going tonight. And clearly they did, man. That was just a flat out butt whipping.
I had hopes. I thought it was going to be a close game going in. But it was at Little Caesars Arena. Detroit had home court advantage. I did see. It was pretty funny. Cleveland got 25 buses of fans, drove them up to Little Caesars Arena to offset home court advantage there, which seemed to work pretty well for him.
Yeah.
But anyway, I thought Detroit probably would have had the edge. I thought Cade was probably gonna have a good game. Game 7, traditional for him. And then a bit like you said, about 8 minutes into the game, maybe even less. Cleveland was putting on a show. They were playing their best game, and Detroit was playing their absolute worst. So
Right. Yeah, just honestly, like I just said, the opposite of kind of what I expected.
yeah,
Um, the thing that stood out to me the most is that we found out tonight there is another level to Cleveland's defense,
yeah,
and they showed it. Like their
yeah,
defense was unreal. Holding Cade to 13 points, I believe it is. Like the
yeah,
Pistons did not shoot well at all. Like a lot of the Pistons' key players just did not have a good game at all.
yeah,
The Cavs' defense was awesome tonight, and honestly, that is something as a Knicks fan I don't want to see in the Eastern Conference Final. I don't want to see their defense like if they're going to play like that.
yeah,
Now, Cleveland is the epitome of not being consistent, so we'll see how that goes. But the other thing that stood out to me tonight was Cleveland really had control of the pace. It's kind of rare. Like it feels like Cleveland has so much talent, but in most Cleveland games, it's like okay, these talented players are going to do talented things, but nobody really has like a set control of the game. And tonight, it just felt like the entire team did.
yeah. Um, Donovan Mitchell, incredible performance from him. He was dazzling the entire game.
Dazzling.
James Harden, didn't I wasn't impressed, but it's playoffs. What do you expect from him?
Game 7, yeah.
Yeah, Game 7. But shout out to Sam Merrill, dude. Shot the lights out, man. He was lightning hot all game. Hit some big threes for him in the first half. And then I want a special shout out to the big man duo of Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. What an insane game from them, not only on the offensive side of the ball, but what I'm really looking for here is defense. Lock
Yeah.
down the paint all game. Pistons
Yeah.
could not get anything in the paint up. And not only that, but they had an incredible game offensively. I think Cleveland is playing at their best when these two big men are in there running the paint together.
Absolutely. And Mitchell's obviously the best player on the team. Mitchell's like the key. Like if Mitchell
Yeah.
has a bad game, they're probably going to lose.
Hmm.
But even if Mitchell has a decent game, these two big guys are talented enough to where they can play incredibly well and just will their team to a win.
Yeah.
If these two guys, both of them at the same time, especially are dominating a game, Cleveland is probably going to win.
Yeah.
Last year when Cleveland like just destroyed everybody in the regular season to get that 1 seed, the key pieces to that team was Mobley was playing at an incredibly high level.
Yep.
Jared Allen was doing Jared Allen things. But Cleveland just showed a whole nother atmosphere of basketball tonight that I knew they were capable of, but I didn't think they were gonna get to that level and really play that well.
Yeah.
But man, that was wild, man.
Yeah, no, I think we started to see the cracks in Detroit offensively, and I'm talking the
Hmm.
entire season here. They got the 1 seed for their defense, rightfully so, incredible all season. But like I said, when especially when you get this deep in the playoffs, if you cannot handle the offensive side of the ball well, you're probably not going to get very far. And I think we saw the cracks starting to show. Also, the Pistons heavy workload this playoff season. You saw them come out strong in games 1 and 2, but you can only play so much basketball at such high level for so long a time. And I think that game 3, I think they didn't play as well as they should have, and then I think that downward trend continued. I think they ran out of gas, and I think that's what they have to owe this loss to.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Um, I do want to talk about two specific things here that's going on with the Cleveland series because I'm not full disclaimer Pistons fans, I'm not going to clown on you this podcast. I know how it feels when your team loses and especially when you get just absolutely crushed like that. So,
Yeah,
not going to clown on you. I do understand how you feel about the whole refs thing this series. Harden obviously was a big flop at the series and I would be annoyed if he was playing my team as well. Um, but going off of that though, a couple things to do with that. I feel like team because this happened with Brunson last year. Brunson flopped a little bit in the regular season, and then he got to that Pistons series, and he flopped the entire series.
yeah,
I'll be the first to admit it, being a Knicks fan. Now he was the best player in that series and deserved to win that series, but that's a different side of the argument. Um, but I think we're noticing a pattern here that when teams, especially in the playoffs, go up against the Pistons, specifically a very good offensive guard goes up against Asar Thompson, the Pistons defense is just too grabby. It's too physical.
yeah,
And these players have it in their heads like, hey, I can get an extra 5 to 10 or even more points a game if I do this. And sure, it's unethical. Sure, no one likes it. Um, outside of maybe OKC fans because they're used to it.
yeah,
Sure, like it's you can call it unethical, like, and I'll agree with you, but it's rewarded. The refs are rewarding it. Why wouldn't they do it?
yeah.
Um, and so I just think that it does have something to do with that when players play the Pistons, especially Asar, they know that they're going to be grabby. And like, hey, let's get an extra 5 to 10 points a game. Let's get Asar out of the game, one of the best defenders in the league, and it's
Mhm.
going to be way easier on us. And I think that's exactly what Harden was doing in the series.
Yeah, no, and you didn't see a lot of that from the Magic, and I think the Cavs when they were making their game plan, I can't speak for their office or anything, but I really do think that they probably looked at that Magic Piston series, and I think they took some notes. I think that it going to Game 7, and then the fact that the Magic were not drawing a ton of fouls, I think put that idea in their head. I think James Harden, obviously a notorious flopper. And you didn't see a ton of it at the beginning of the series when the Pistons won the first 2 games, but then as the series went on and it picked up, Cavs started winning games, and I really think that they thought that was maybe a key to their success there, and I think it was at the end of the day.
Right, right. And honestly, going off of the kind of the flopping thing, like you can carry this into honestly the OKC thing. Like, sure, not 95% of fans don't like watching SGA,
Yeah,
but he gets rewarded and he's insanely good at it. Why wouldn't he
yeah.
do it? So that's just how I feel about that. Do you have any closing thoughts on the Pistons Cavs series at all?
Yeah, good season for the Pistons. I think I don't want to call it quite a choke job, but I do not think that either of these series should have gone to 7 games.
No.
With their record, I don't think at all. And so I blame most of that on JB Bickerstaff. I think the lineups this playoff season were atrocious to say the least. And then I wanted to say, the Cavs. They had a very lackluster first series against the Raptors, pulled it out barely, and I didn't have high hopes for them this season. And you mentioned this last pod where you said we were saying that the Pistons didn't have a lot to worry about, but you said there is a world in which Cavs go home, win those games, and then it goes to Game 7. And man, this is exactly what happened. And I think that we're seeing a side of this Cavs team where Spider Mitchell is on, and then where these big men are dominating the paint. And I think that Cavs team has a shot.
Yeah, I agree. And they even have a shot against the Knicks, who are playing as well as anybody right
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
Mitchell, I said this to a couple people throughout the week. When Mitchell is on, Mitchell is, he's prime Jordan. He's unreal. Like nobody is stopping Prime Mitchell. What he did, um, when did he just go off? Game five. When he had that, he had over 30 points. I forget. It's
Yeah.
been almost a
Hmm.
week now, but um, when Mitchell is on, Mitchell is on.
Yeah.
There's nobody that's gonna stop him. Now the flip side to it, and this is what I think. I think that this is unfortunately Mitchell's downfall, is Mitchell gets in his head a lot. Um, to where if Mitchell's in his head and his confidence is shook up a little bit, he's probably gonna suck that night. Like
Yeah.
he probably just doesn't have the mindset to will him back to, hey, I'm actually gonna take over this game. Like if Mitchell's head and confidence is shot, it's shot. But man, when Mitchell is confident on, Mitchell is unreal. So the other one last thing about Detroit, I just wanted to talk about real quick because obviously it's probably the most important offseason for Detroit in over 2 decades. Um, Everyone agrees that they need another star and need more offense.
Yeah.
But the problem now, and this has been the problem for a long time, is how are they going to get a star that's going to want to come to Detroit? It seems like Devin Booker is the answer.
Yeah.
That Booker has a lot of history with Detroit. As far as I've read, I don't think Detroit can afford Devin Booker's contract anyway, but as far as the Pistons trying to build a way better roster this offseason and get that guy that's going to take them over the top, it's going
Yeah.
to be a tough road for them.
Yeah. I think just spitballing just to finish the thought. I think you have to develop Paul Reed. I think you have to get trade value out of Jalen Duren, and I think you got to put another star guard on that team. So that,
Yeah.
that would be my answer.
You Are you saying keep Jalen Duren or keep Paul Reed? Or
I'm saying
both?
keep Paul Reed,
Oh, okay.
and then so I develop Paul Reed, keep Stu as the backup center. I think he plays that role fine, and then I use Jalen Duren for trade value before he gets any worse.
Well, I would actually counter. I would say Duren needs a whole season at this. If Detroit wants to trade Duren and rely on Paul Reed and Isaiah Stewart, Duren needs another at least half a year to get his trade value back up.
Yeah,
Like his trade value took a big hit.
yeah,
And
yeah,
the issue that I have with relying on Stewart is like Duren took a lot of heat this series, and honestly took if Duren played well, Bickerstaff and Isaiah Stewart would have taken way more heat, but Duren just kind of took that from them, and so Stewart is a big blame here too. Like a key part of the Pistons defense and the Pistons team throughout the regular season. He was a no-show of the series as well, and I just feel like Duren is
yeah.
getting so much heat that that's being hid.
Yeah, I'm not saying Isaiah Stewart played well, but I'm what I am saying is that I think that I think that Jalen Duren, if he doesn't fix some stuff in the offseason, I don't see his trend going upwards. Just from what I've
Oh
seen,
yeah,
it hasn't just been this series either. It's been last series as well. Right when the playoffs started, you saw Jalen Duren just completely lose whatever he had in the regular season.
yeah. I think a big thing with Duren is Duren played his guts out every regular season game,
Yeah,
and he still played hard in the playoffs. So even though he wasn't good, um, but there is something to be said for playing in the regular season and players obviously in defense obviously not trying as hard, and
yeah,
so which allowed Duren to dominate a lot more.
yeah,
And then when it gets to the playoffs, we just saw it tonight. Defenses in the paint, especially in the paint, their defenses are gonna turn up.
yeah,
We saw it with the Magic, and we saw it with Cleveland tonight, and I just don't
yeah.
think Duren was ready for it, to be honest with you.
No, yeah,
So, all right, that about sums up Pistons Cavs for me. We'll predict Cavs Knicks in a little bit, but we're gonna skip Knicks Sixers and Lakers OKC recaps because there's really no point. We kind of already talked about them, and they were both just slaughterfest. It's kind of playing this day what happened. So, but Wolves Spurs, that was a decent series. I wouldn't say it
yeah.
was great, but it wasn't bad at
Mhm.
all. Some takeaways for the series, and they're mostly
Yeah.
for the Spurs.
Yeah,
Go
for the
ahead.
Spurs. Yeah, for the Spurs. I came out. I said before the series started, I said Wolves, and I think I said Wolves in six, and then series went on. Last spot I said Spurs in 7. And I think I was really counting on Rudy Gobert to shut down Wemby, and he did the first game. And but I think what I learned, and I think what everybody else is learning, is that they call him the alien for a reason. I don't think anybody really has a solid answer for Victor Wembanyama. He's
Not
unreal.
at all.
I don't, and I think he's a great player, and I'll give him his flowers, but his height alone is just there. Nobody has an answer for it yet.
Yep.
I think we're seeing something maybe similar to Jokic's MVP run, where that playing offense on that level hadn't really been done in a while, and we didn't see a ton of answers for it. So I think the league needs a couple of years to maybe figure Victor Wembanyama out and be able to play him well. And right now, there's just no answer for him. You put the best big man defender in the league on him, and it just completely it didn't do anything. And then I think Stephen Castle had a good series, and then Vassell as well. I think they're good. They're good assets to the Spurs. I think they play well with Wemby. And so yeah, but you got to give most of the credit to Wemby. He's just unreal. And at the end of the day, the Wolves just couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah. So the Spurs takeaways that I have from the series is the Spurs, and not just because of how talented they are and who they have,
Yeah,
the Spurs are going to be good for a long, long time. Like they're already unbelievable, and they have like three or four guards that are playing valuable minutes under
yeah,
24, 25 years old. Wemby's
yeah.
not very old either at all by any means.
No,
Um, the Spurs, as a franchise, about a decade ago now, that dynasty ended. They have proven to take these teams and develop them
yep,
and create dynasties in teams that nobody can really take down, at least
yeah,
consistently. And I really think that we're seeing, the Duncan Ginobili, Tony Parker, like that whole
mhm,
era of Spurs basketball. I really think that we're starting to see another era of Spurs basketball that's going to dominate the game, just like they did. Um, Man, like the thing about the Spurs right now too is they're getting better every single game.
yeah,
This should not be happening. I mean, obviously teams should be getting better as they're going along, but this is just on a level that just doesn't happen.
yeah,
Um, they're getting more and more unbeatable every single game that they play, and I do want to shout out Dylan Harper, the guard for them. He's 20 years old, and
yeah,
he is doing things that a 20-year-old guard should not be able to do. Uh, Dylan Harper. I mean, the Spurs are going to get Wemby and Castle and Keldon Johnson, whatever. They're going to get the attention, but watch out for Dylan Harper. He's going to be good for a long, long time. The Wolves, like you said, Rudy just went back to average NBA center.
yeah,
Rudy, good on defense sometimes. He
yeah,
really, really got his butt handed to him by Wemby.
yeah. He did.
Um, and I really think that as much as this series is going to, show how good the Spurs are, I think that this series should give Mitch Johnson a lot of flowers as well. He
Yeah,
made a lot of really good adjustments. He has a really good team. He has really good talent at his disposal, but he did make really good adjustments and use that talent to the best that he could. So
yeah. No, that's a good word. I also think the Spurs are incredibly well coached. Um, yeah, and you know, the thing about the Wolves is Ant Man. Ant Man came out. He's doing his thing. I think I was right on Desunmu. I think he was too young, too inexperienced. I don't think he played quite like he can in the future. I think Dante DiVincenzo being out was a huge hit for them. I think it all rises and falls on Rudy Gobert and Ant Man. You have Rudy Gobert, who just did not lock down Wemby, like he probably has the talent to,
hmm
on his best day. And then Ant Man, you mentioned this a couple pods ago, but he it's almost like he doesn't want to be the face of the league. He's an incredible talent. He's unbelievable, but at the end of the day, he's just not. You don't quite see the gene in him that that you saw from maybe Kobe or MJ or even LeBron. So
yeah, yeah. I think Minnesota is really reminding me, like, I don't know, for the last 5 years of the Buffalo Bills in the NFL. Like,
Okay.
just the team that's always going to make the conference finals and
Yeah, and
or come super, super close.
yeah,
Have one of the best guys in the league. I mean, Josh Allen is, in my opinion, the best player in football, but and one of the best guys in the league, and
yeah,
they're just not gonna come through and make the finals. Like they're not gonna have a shot to win because they just could not get past these conference finals. And I'll just say this right now that unless the NBA realigns an expansion, sends Minnesota to the East or whatever, like any
yeah,
team in the Western Conference should be like, oh no, we have to put up with OKC and San Antonio
yeah.
for what the next decade now. Like, sorry, you're not beating them. Good
No,
luck.
yeah.
So it'll be interesting how it shakes out. But any closing thoughts on Wolves Spurs?
Just I think the highlight here is Victor Wembanyama. I'm so excited to see what he does in this OKC series,
Yeah,
and yeah,
I think Wemby is like OKC's the better team, but I really do think that the Spurs have a good shot here.
yeah,
They beat him 3 times in the regular season. That's got to count for something, right?
yeah,
Um, but I just think that Wemby and Chet, Wemby's gonna have Chet's number. I still would pick OKC to win. Don't
yeah.
get me wrong. But I do think it could go to 7 games and be very, very close and come down to the wire. That's all I'll say about it. So all right, let's move on. We've got a game. Then we're gonna have some discussions. This game that we're playing today is called Conspiracy Corner. Pretty self-explanatory. I've got 2 conspiracies, and we're gonna talk about both of them, and just viewpoints on kind of both sides of the aisle here, and then just go about it as we see fit here. So, conspiracy number 1: is the NBA trying to make OKC bigger by helping them win these games? Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm going to say the short answer is no, but I'm also going to say that I can see why some people would say yes. I do like watching OKC. I love watching OKC. I'm a big fan of them. And unpopular opinion, I'm a big fan of SGA. I love watching him play the game. I think he's an unbelievable talent. I I will agree that the flopping can be egregious. I'm not going to say he doesn't flop. I'm not going to be delusional. But listen, and I've said it before on the pod. I'll say it again. He's taken part of the game, and he's made it his own. He's become the best at it. Listen, SGA didn't come up with flopping. It's called selling the foul. It's been in the league forever. All right, he didn't come up with it. He just became the best at it, and I gotta give him his flowers for that. Now
Yeah.
that being said, when it comes to people conflate these two issues, which I'm seeing all the time. People are conflating the issue of SGA flopping and the refs giving stuff to OKC, and they're putting these issues together. I think they're two separate issues. So I will say that SGA flops. I'll give you that. Now, as far as OKC and the refs, I'm not seeing as much favor from the refs as everybody else is. I I think that the issue is being conflated because of SGA flopping. Now, when we look at the rest of the team, when we look at free throws per game, OKC is not I don't even think they're in the top 10 for free throws per game on the season. And I think SGA is a big part of why this issue is conflated. Now, because of SGA, I get why people, back to the question, is the NBA trying to make the OKC bigger by helping them? You see Shea flop all the time, and you see him get that whistle all the time, and I get it. People are mad, and Shea winning the MVP award twice and him being well on his way to another ring, putting him easily in a top 10 conversation. I get why someone might say that the NBA is rigging this because ratings are down. They were last season, and we haven't seen a generational talent since LeBron James, I would argue. About Steph Curry, probably, actually. And so the league is due for another one. So I completely get why someone would say that. And that's my piece on it.
Yeah, I would say I'd actually go the other way. I would say that they do want OKC to win and they are helping them.
Mm,
But I do agree with a lot of your points. I do first off agree that the the SGA flopping is making people like it's really accelerating the whole
yeah,
OKC gets the whistle all the time thing.
yeah,
That is a good assessment there, but I do think that the NBA is trying to help them. Um, First of all, they took Seattle's team away from them, and since then, Seattle fans have been mad, rightfully so.
yeah,
It's an awesome sports city, and putting OKC on the map obviously can do big things for the league, as far as like getting them a lot of popularity. But here's the bigger reason that I think the NBA is actually helping them, and they're kind of copying the NFL here. Is when sports leagues have a big villain, the viewership and the popularity go up by default
are you
because
are
as many what's
yeah,
that?
sorry, are you about to compare it with the Chiefs? Is that where you're going
Yeah,
with this?
yeah,
Okay, yeah,
right. I mean, the Chiefs kind of sucked last year,
yeah,
but still, like no one still likes them.
yeah,
Um, but it's like I mean, a lot of businesses use this model. Like, if you don't like us, fine, but if you're gonna be talking about us and get us attention, cool. That's what we want, and I think that's a little bit of what the NBA is doing here. Um, the Chiefs obviously like no one likes them, myself included, but they get so much attention, they get so much talk, they bring so much popularity to the league, and it's working with OKC clearly. I mean, people can't shut up about OKC every 5 minutes about their players, about anything that has to do with OKC. It's just constant and constant and constant talk about OKC. But it does make the NBA and OKC more relevant. So I do think that there is some truth to that as well.
yeah. No, that's a fine take. I will also say in support of your view that we have to remember as we're coming into this is that the NBA is a business. At the end of the day, they do need ratings, they do need revenue. And I would like to think I don't know where you are on this as a fan of just the league in general. I love watching the NBA. I love it as a whole. I would like to think better that they're just letting everybody play the game like they're supposed to. But stuff can be said for corrupt businessmen. There's corrupt people everywhere, and I don't think it's far fetched to agree with you there.
Right, right. I mean, there's arguments that'll support both sides, but
Yeah.
that's that. So, all right, question number 2. And this has been on my social media. I've been getting it sent to me constantly. If you're listening to this and you want to send me this again, please go ahead and do it. I'm just going to ignore you because it's getting annoying. Um, the Cavs and Knicks Eastern Conference Finals preview. It was going around social media. I don't know if it did get leaked or if it was fake. I don't know. But it looked like it might have happened. And my follow-up question would be, does this mean that the NBA has some script to it?
Yeah. You want me to go first?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, no, I did see this several times as well. And I actually from what I saw from the knowledge that I have, I believe it actually aired and then they quickly took it down when they realized. And I have a couple things on it is number one, the ad seemed to have been for Sunday, which is today when we're recording this when the Pistons game would have been.
Right.
So I find it hard to believe that they were previewing the next series, the next Cavs series. So to the is it scripted? I would say no. What I do think probably happened is they had. I'm sure they made several. I'm sure they made several different ads just in case, based on the outcome of Game 6. Because
Right.
Game 6, what the Pistons were down. If they lost Game 6, Cavs would have had the series, right? So if I'm a betting man, I'm just saying I'm probably putting my money on some incompetence. Somebody aired the wrong ad, and
Yeah.
then it got blown out of proportion. So
Well, I wonder if that's true. Like, if Cleveland would have won Game 6, would Game 1 have been today? Like, that's a good possibility.
yeah, that's.
So, like, yeah, that's a valid take for sure. Yeah, I agree with what you said. They make, I mean, even if they were relying on the outcome of Game 7, they make these ads for both teams
Yeah,
way
exactly.
before.
Yeah,
Like, they have these graphics ready to go.
yeah,
And especially if you've ever even seen one just air right after the game. Like, they didn't make that between the game and that commercial. That has been made for a long time.
yeah,
And like you said, I just think somebody played the wrong thing. Um, the overall thing with the NBA, though, and basketball is, it is, it is so hard to script basketball. Like, it's so difficult. Just the
yeah,
percentages of shots and like just the billions of different, I mean, more than billions of different outcomes that can happen
yeah,
on one single play.
yeah,
Um, Now the refs, as far like I did just say that the refs are trying to help OKC win, and I do
yeah,
think that the refs have influence, and that the refs do try to help certain teams win. But the key word there is help. I don't think the refs are like single handedly because what are the how are they going to go about this? I don't think the refs are single handedly
yeah,
like, okay, this team's going to win no matter what. I don't think that's happening.
yeah,
Basketball is just way too hard of a sport
yeah.
to rig, in my opinion. But
Now, well, I will say, just playing devil's advocate here for a second. If any Game 7 looks scripted, it's this last Cavs Pistons game.
what? Why do you say that?
Oh, just how bad it was, man. How bad the Pistons played and
Yeah.
how great the Cavs played.
Yeah, I didn't expect it. That's
Yeah,
for
no,
sure.
I'm being facetious mostly, but I'm sure somebody is making the argument.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, all right. Second discussion. Discussion number 2: the repulsive behavior. Repulsive behavior of blaming the refs for losing. Now, no, I'm not targeting you, Pistons fans. There's a lot of teams and a lot of coaches that do it. And no matter what team does it, heck, if the Knicks did it, I would hate it. Now, the Knicks,
Yeah.
fortunately, are one of the teams that don't do this. Rarely. So that's good. But it, my issue with it is, first of all, it takes zero accountability at all.
Yeah.
It's just the refs are a scapegoat. Okay, cool. We'll blame the refs. And it happens in every sport. It doesn't just happen in the NBA.
Yeah.
Except for really the MLB, to be honest with you. But it's, first of all, it takes zero accountability. And if you notice a pattern as well, these fans or coaches that, or even players that want to blame the refs on a loss, typically the game or the loss that they're referring to, the team or that player did something very, very bad in that game.
Yeah.
Like, they just had a stretch where they played terrible, and it is not at all the refs' fault that the other team came back, or
Yeah.
that that team just wiped the floor with you.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many that is just not taking any responsibility at all, and it makes me upset. And the other thing is that every single team nowadays that loses a game outside of a couple are doing this.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm not. I'm still not targeting Pistons fans, but in that last series, you have JB Bickerstaff crying about the refs, and you have Mitchell crying about the refs. It's like, okay, it can't be both ways. The
Yeah.
refs can't be favoring both of you. Like, which way is it here? It just doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense to me, and it just annoys me. And I wish that, as terrible as the refs are, clearly nothing soon is going to be done about it,
Yeah.
and it just makes as upset and disgusted as NBA fans are, like me, who have to watch these refs just be so bad at what they do.
Yeah.
The whole just going to the media and crying about it in the middle of the game, it's not helping anything. It's just making it 10 times worse for me.
Yeah. I will say I cannot remember the last game I watched where a team lost and I thought that was the ref's fault. The refs lost that. Now,
Right.
on the flip side, this is what I will say, especially this postseason. This postseason has been egregious reffing. It's been
Terrible.
miserable,
Awful.
terrible. It's probably the worst I've ever seen in the league, just at like on the whole. And I will say, but the reffing has been terrible. It's a problem. It needs to be fixed. But I agree with you wholeheartedly when you're saying that it's making the problems 10 times worse. And like, so for example, we'll use OKC LA game 2. Terrible refing, worst refing I've seen probably ever in a basketball game.
Hmm.
Now, you take away all that bad refing, LA still loses that game by 20 points. All right, that's just the reality of it. All right, they're
Right.
not as good a team as OKC. So I get refs being bad, and I completely agree that refs have been terrible. Even in this last game seven, Cavs Pistons game,
They were bad.
refing was terrible. It was
Yeah.
miserable. It was hard to watch. They were shooting free throws every 4 seconds. I could barely get through the game. It was bad. But you take away all that bad refing. At the end of the day, the Pistons played bad and the Cavs played good. So, and something has to be said for it's the NBA. We're playing basketball at an elite level. All right. So when it comes down to these games, the edge is not going to be the refing. It's just not
Yeah.
because the game is being played at such a fast and high level.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
yes,
The other thing for just an instance that really made me mad was game 5, the foul on Asar Thompson where Jared Allen tripped him,
yeah,
sent the game into overtime.
yeah, that was a terrible. Yeah,
That was bad. Should have been called a foul.
good one called.
100%.
Well, I think Mitchell got hacked in the paint before that even
Oh,
happened.
I completely agree.
Yeah,
I wasn't referring to that, but
Yeah.
of course we're
Yeah.
only going to hear the one side of the story. But
yeah,
no, I completely agree. And there was a couple seconds before that, I think even a foul happened where Detroit fouled Cleveland there.
yeah,
But that's kind of the side of the point because if you are relying on a loose ball foul to win you the game
yeah,
after you were up 10 points
yeah,
with that little amount of time left, you are the problem.
yeah. You didn't play a good game. Yeah,
It's not the ref's fault.
yeah,
And especially in the playoffs when these calls, like, there's stuff like that. I mean, sure, the refs are calling egregious things, but there are a lot of calls on like little trips like that and like little pushes and shoves that are fouls
yeah,
that they let go in the playoffs.
yeah,
And so, not to mention, like, I felt the same way last year with the Josh Hart shot in the Pistons series when Josh Hart, or the Hardaway shot, I believe it was Hart and Hardaway. Josh Hart fouls Tim Hardaway at the end of the game, and the refs don't call it.
yeah,
And all the Pistons fans were like, "That was such a foul! I can't believe it." And I'm like, "Yeah, I agree it was a foul, but you want to know something? That was not called the entire game.
yeah,
That was one of the most physical first round playoff series I've seen in my life. Like, you cannot be relying on the refs to just bail you out in these situations. I
Yeah.
understand they're fouls. I understand they should be called. I get it. I'm just saying, accountability has to take over. You have to take
Yeah.
more responsibility and more accountability than willingness to blame the refs that you're giving out. That's probably my biggest issue with it.
Yeah, and something has to be said to and this is kind of a rabbit trail, but this speaks to the point is the difference between playoff basketball and regular season basketball in the NBA. And this has been ticking me off for a while now. And I'll say it with these, refs bailing out this topic. This is playoff basketball. This is the playoffs. This is not the regular season. You cannot expect a call to bail you out of a series in the playoffs, the NBA playoffs. This is deciding the NBA champion. This is deciding the finals, all right? You cannot expect a ref, a bad call or a good call or a no call. You cannot expect that to bail you out, all right? You have to play good, elite level basketball to advance in the playoffs. That's how it should be. That's how it's been. And this bigger point of the reffing too. This is playoff basketball. The reffing should be better than this.
Yeah.
And players. I'll use Jalen Duren as an example. I'll say, man, Jalen Duren's having a terrible playoff season, and some Pistons fans will be like, but he played great in the regular season. I don't care. It's not the regular season anymore. This is
Right.
playoff basketball. You got to show up.
Yeah. How far
Right.
did that one seed? How far did that one seed get you?
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, that's my bigger point here is that you cannot expect bailout, especially come playoff season.
Yeah. Exactly. 100%. So the other thing, man, I'm so good at doing this every single episode. I had another point.
It's
All right,
good.
we're just gonna move on.
No,
Unless you have anything else.
no, I'm all good.
All right, cool. So third discussion, and then we're going to Oh, this is our third discussion. Okay, I need to get my life
I
together.
you missed. I think you missed the SGA one.
I did. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, there it is. SGA today. Second MVP announced back to back.
Yep.
And I will say this. I love SGA.
Yeah.
I don't like the flopping. Like I said, I've said this before. I don't like the flopping. But I understand and recognize how great he is. And I absolutely hate it when the flopping takes away from how people
Yeah.
realize just how special he is. But
Yeah.
now that I'm done praising SGA, I'm going to say this.
Okay.
I'm very happy that the voters and the press, whatever, they see his greatness. I'm very glad because I do too, and I really appreciate it when, greatness can recognize greatness, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But for me at this point, as long as Jokic is playing the minimum games every single year,
Yeah.
and he is 85% Nikola Jokic, he should be winning MVP every single year. I just think voter fatigue has just killed Jokic. At the Embiid MVP, I thought Jokic should have won.
Yeah.
I would have voted for Jokic this year. Now Jokic didn't really back it up in the playoffs as much
No.
as he should have. But again, it's a regular season award, and I just think voter fatigue is. I think Jokic should have two more MVPs at this point.
Yeah.
I think Jokic. I think. I don't think Jokic is actually going to win another ring in his career if he's in the West. As good as he is, I don't think he's going to. The league is too
Yeah.
talented right now, and OKC and San Antonio are too good.
Yeah.
So, the case for Jokic for these top 5, top 10 conversations is going to be, first of all, his stats, and his stats are unbelievable, which is the reason he should be winning MVP every single year, in my opinion. But the MVPs is going to be the other thing that really carries him and gives him a huge argument for being in the top 5, top 10 of all time. And
Yeah.
so I know a lot of people think that Jokic doesn't give a crap about basketball at all. And I just think he does. I just don't think that's true. I think that he cares obviously a lot about his horses and
Yeah.
his life outside of basketball. But I do think he really gives a crap about basketball. I really do. And obviously Jokic, if he does, Jokic is going to care about his legacy. And I just think voter fatigue is killing it at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Listen, Jokic averaging a near triple double is incredible. And from that standpoint, yes, he should have MVP every time. If he's, I mean, think about how crazy that is. I'm looking, he is point 0.5 assists away from averaging a triple double, which is insane. Now, to your point, this is why I don't think he won it. And this is why I don't think personally he should have won it. I think there is something to be said about your point of Jokic doesn't care about the game very much. From a league standpoint, SGA, just based on what we're seeing, SGA cares about the game a lot more than Nikola Jokic does. And is playing SGA is playing elite offense. And I believe that because he's the most incredible talent that the league has seen in a few years, and because of his care for the game, because of the hype that OKC has right now, I think that's why he deserves MVP. Now, again, the stats. Jokic's stats are what is keeping him in this debate. And from a stat standpoint, Jokic deserves MVP. And I'll even say this for Jokic. From when we're talking about most valuable player, you look at the Nuggets team and you look at OKC's team. Jokic is the most valuable player because he is making the Nuggets what they are. He's the only
I'm
reason
glad
they
you
made
said
the
that. Yeah.
he's the only reason he made the playoffs. But like I said, I think the view of the league, like we said, the NBA is a business. I think what we're seeing from SGA and even from this OKC team as a whole is that they care about the game and that they want to win. They want to be champions. Even in the press, Shea says, everything in my life is consistent. I'm always consistent. And he comes in with all these outfits and, he says, I have the answers to the test. I just need to know where to put them, right? So SGA is just on an incredible press. I don't want to call it a press run, but that's what it is. He's the face. He's becoming the face of the league based on his personality, based on his play style, based on how good he is on offense. And I think that if you're looking at a business standpoint for the league, and couple in with that points and stats, I think it's got to go to SGA.
So, I can definitely see why you're saying your points, but I do want to talk about the face of the league thing because that's also a hot NBA topic nowadays.
Yeah.
If you're going to be the face of the league, the fans have to like you.
Yeah, I think a lot. I think a lot more people like SGA than we realize.
You think that the haters are just drowning them out?
I do. Yeah.
I think to an effect that's true. I do still also think that not enough people like SGA. And also, this is not meant to be racial in any way, but the face of the league has kind of got to be American, in my opinion. Like,
Really?
yeah. I mean, the face of the league has always been American, from
Yeah.
America. And these last 5 or 6 years, we've had 6 international MVPs, and that has never even come close to happening before.
Well, listen, when you open up the league to all these international players, that's just bound to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is exactly why I was about to say this. I don't think the NBA is ever going to get a true face of the league again. The other thing about the face of the league thing is that with the league as deep as it is, the league has to be at a low enough talent level to where one player can just completely dominate and outshine the rest.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what we saw happen in the 90s with Jordan.
Yeah.
And so I just think the NBA is also, the other thing is the NBA is just way too good to have a true face of the league because the competition level just runs so deep. You're not going to get one guy dominating everybody else for a whole decade like you used to back then,
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And yeah, I'll agree with it. I think that, and I think voter fatigue, again, has played a huge part. I'll also say on the part of the haters drowning out the, SGA love is I think that I think like the league in general, like I'm saying coaches, I'm saying general managers, I'm saying commentators, right? ESPN Sports Center, whatever. I think that these guys who are, important people in the NBA world, I think that these guys like SGA.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge part of it. Well, and I say that too in support of I believe that more people like SGA than what we're seeing. I think social media is probably blowing the SGA hate way out of proportion because it gives casuals a platform, right?
Right.
And so people see a highlight reel of SGA flopping, and they'll throw out SGA is ruining the NBA, which is just not true.
Immediate post to the story.
Yeah, no, exactly. So
Yeah.
I really do think he's more liked than we think, and I think that from just from a face of the league standpoint, I think the SGA, I think that him winning MVP, I think it's deserved. I think he's incredible. So
Yeah. All right, so we're the hour's late. As you can probably see, I'm running on fumes right now. So we're actually going to get into our conference finals predictions. We're going to go over them super quick and then go over our last segment and say goodnight because I am exhausted. But OKC San Antonio, I think OKC is going to win. I don't think San Antonio. I think San Antonio is going to really, really hang around, and I wouldn't be shocked at all if San Antonio wins. There's just not really anything that's tipping me over the edge right now to pick San Antonio over OKC. But my prediction for that series, I think OKC is going to win in 7. And then for Knicks Cavs, I think the Cavs have had their run. They went to 7 games with one of the worst 5 seeds in a while.
yeah,
They did just beat the 1 seed, so they have that going for them. But I did see a stat today that like teams that are coming off of more than 6 days rest have like an 88% or higher chance to win the next series,
yeah,
which would be the Knicks in this scenario. So I think the Knicks historically, history says that the Knicks are going to play extremely well this next series. Um, the Cavs are just not as talented or deep as the Knicks, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
I would say Knicks in six. But I mean, kind of like the other series. If the Cavs go on a run here and play like they did tonight, I could see them winning as well.
Yeah. In the West, I am going OKC in 6. Um, like I said, Wemby's an incredible talent. I don't think OKC necessarily has an answer for Wemby, but OKC is playing offense on such a high level that I don't think it's going to matter. Number one. Number two, I think the Spurs live and die on Wemby, and I think OKC plays incredible team basketball. I think that if one of the guys on OKC is having a rough night, it's not really going to affect them as much as it's going to affect Wemby having a rough night, right? I
Hmm.
think they play incredible team ball. And like I said, the offense is at such an elite level with OKC right now that I do not see it making a difference with the Spurs. Like you said, I think the Spurs have the talent, the gumption to win a couple. I think Wemby comes out strong, but I think at the end of the day, they just get gassed by how good offensively this OKC team is. So I have OKC in 6. And then over in the East, Cavs, Knicks. I have Knicks in 5.
Wow.
Yeah, no. Yeah, the Knicks are playing elite basketball. There is no question about it. We saw at the tail end of the Atlanta series, they started out slow, but they started playing their game, and it was great, right? And then they come in to Philly, and I expected Philly to crank out the win there.
Yeah.
But the Knicks continue to play elite level basketball against an insane starting five
Who just beat Boston?
who just beat Boston. All right.
Right.
I'm not going to say the Sixers played well. I blame most of it on Tyrese Maxey, that series. But regardless, Kelly Oubre, VJ Edgecombe, Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, Paul George, that's incredible. And
Yeah.
to just steamroll them in 4 games like that, I think that they're playing their best version of basketball. I think Mike Brown is beating the odds. I think he's coaching them incredibly well this playoffs run. And I think everybody's playing their role to perfection. I think that if Jalen Brunson stays on the ball, I think that if Cat continues to play his role, I think that OG Anunoby plays the game at the level that he's been playing it. I don't think this Cavs team stands a chance, especially with Harden being lackluster. And listen, Jared Allen was great this last game, and Evan Mobley's been great all series or all playoff season. But Jared Allen has been hit or miss this season,
Yeah.
especially on the stat sheet.
So is
So
Mobley.
yeah, well, I'm talking about the defensive end. I think Mobley's been awesome
Oh.
defensively
Yeah. Yeah.
all playoff season. But yeah, regardless, I think that unless Donovan Mitchell just takes over and plays 6 games of the best basketball he's ever played in his life, I think that the Knicks have this in 5.
Yeah. I know I said wow. I would be surprised if it happens in five.
Yeah,
I guess because I haven't ever seen the success this much of the Knicks in my lifetime.
yeah,
So that's on that sense it's kind of surprising, but just with the Knicks, just with the way the Knicks have been playing, I wouldn't be shocked at all. So,
yeah.
all right, very last segment of the night, something kind of related to sports, kind of not. Just a little preview for everybody. I do want to do kind of a fun segment at the end of every podcast. Now, we're gonna operate every other week between 2 segments. This week it's gonna be I've got a dilemma. I'll explain it in a second. Next week it's going to be culture check. And so culture check is going to be we just find, a trend that's going on in the culture. I don't really want to get into politics on the podcast. But I don't know, just some trend that's going on in the culture and we can talk about it. I know we had discussed talking about Drake's new album tonight and then we scratched that, but maybe we can do it next time.
Shout out Iceman.
But all right, tonight we're going to do I've got a dilemma. So, I don't know if Tristan's got a dilemma. I do.
Matthew's got a
If
big
any-
dilemma.
If anybody follows UFC at all out there that's listening to the podcast, Conor McGregor. I mean, even people that don't follow UFC probably saw it. Conor McGregor's supposed to be coming back July 11th. I can't wait. I love Conor McGregor. He made the UFC what it was. Obviously, just entertainment gold. I think he has like the 5 highest grossing pay-per-views in UFC history. Here's the dilemma. Ready? And you know this because you're friends with me, but it's on my wedding day. And I already know what the answer here is going to be as far as like what I'm going to do. Obviously, I'm going to be a good husband and record it and probably watch it the next day or a couple days later, but if you have any advice for me on how to handle the situation, it'd be
No,
greatly
num-
appreciated.
yeah, no, number one, you do have a dilemma. All right, this is the stuff that books are written about. I'm not a huge I'm not a huge UFC fan. I love the NBA and the NFL, and that's about my what I focus on. But I know my friend Matthew loves the UFC, and I did see the headline Conor McGregor. I know the name. I know pop culture. I know about him. I did see the headline, and Matthew is a UFC guy. I know it's in his blood. He's gonna want to watch this fight, right? It is unfortunate that it's on your wedding day. Now,
Yeah.
here would be my advice. All right, ditch the wedding, watch the fight. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I would love. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. I wouldn't do that. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
no. Here's my honest advice: is the fight, especially with technology, it's going to be recorded. All right.
Right.
Now, are you going to be able to avoid spoilers? I do not think so.
There's no way.
Yeah, there's no way. So listen, I think. Listen, after the wedding, there's always something that happens after the wedding for a week or longer. It's called the honeymoon. I'm sure you're aware. I'm sure you're excited. All right.
I think I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've also heard that the woman likes the honeymoon to be all about her. Now, not a married man. That's just what I've.
We're gonna get in trouble for this one.
That's just what I've heard. So
Thankfully, we don't have any female viewers that I know of. Anyway.
my honest advice to you would be record the game, bite the bullet on the spoilers, spend the week with your new wife. All right. All right. And then immediately when that honeymoon is over, you go home and you watch the fight.
All right. I like it. I think what's gonna end up happening is we're gonna I'll record it for maybe a day or two, and she'll be fine with me watching it like 2 days into it, maybe something like that. A little bit of a compromise, but
Yeah.
yeah, any dream of watching the Conor McGregor fight, and not to mention there's like 4 really really good fights before it too. So any hope of watching that card on July 11th is pretty much I'm just throwing away at this point. But we'll see how that goes. So, all right, do you have a dilemma as well? Anything to chat about, or should we call it a night?
I mean, I do have a dilemma. I don't know if it's good radio or not.
Well, let's hear it. Well, we can make it good radio.
All right. Well, my dilemma is I have to drive to Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I live in Michigan. In a week, in 7 days, and I just found out I need new brakes. I need an oil job. I need to change a gasket, and I need to do body work on my car. So that is a lot of car repair to do in a week, especially when I got to drive down to Tennessee
Oh, fun.
in 7 days. So that's my dilemma as well, and this is why it's a dilemma. I'll kind of tie it into the pod here. It's playoff season. I want to watch basketball.
Right.
Yeah, so that's my dilemma.
Yeah. So anybody that knows anything about me is I'm probably not one to give advice on anything to do with driving or
Yeah.
car repairs or anything like that.
Yeah.
I've had my history, unfortunately. I would say it depends on a couple things. Like, is the car fully drivable right now?
Yes.
Like you're confident you can brake
Yeah.
without hitting somebody?
Yeah, which is a good point. So here's kind of my fix to the dilemma, and this might be what you're about to say, is I think I tune up a couple things. I leave a couple things on the side burner. I just take my chances, and I take that John down to Tennessee.
Hey, I mean, that's what I would probably do, unless
Yeah.
you can fix it like yourself. But I haven't known you to be a car guy. But
Yeah.
that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Just
Yeah, not as bad as your dilemma, but we're all dealing we're all dealing with
right,
problems. So,
right. Yeah.
but
There's
at any rate,
go ahead.
at any rate, I love talking ball with you. It's been a good time.
Yeah, man. Good time. We'll be back. We upload weekly, so we will be back at some point, probably closer to next weekend, like usual.
Yep.
Talk some hoops, talk conference finals, what's going on so far. Do a couple more fun segments, maybe throw in something else in there. So, Tristan, thank you for your time.
Yes,
Have a
sir.
good
Thank
night,
you. Yeah, you
and we
too.
will see you next weekend.
Yeah. All right. Ciao.